next level, it is very good. But we must realize that unless we cultivate humility, unless we build humility to a level whereby it will never come a problem to God to lift us, then be sure that we will keep on praying. We will keep on complaining to God, the Lord, why is this one happening to so and so? Why is this one happening to so and so and it's not happening to me? But when God looks at your heart, he sees that there is a level of humility that you have not reached to for you to move to the next level. My question to you this afternoon, could it be that we are where we are because when God looks at us, he cannot see the requisite level of humility that we need for us to move to the next level? Great and mighty things have been destroyed because of pride. Great ministers, great worshippers, great Christians have been destroyed because of pride. Because the moment you cultivate pride, then you automatically become an enemy of God. And there are many people who have become an enemy of God, knowing and unknowingly, because they walked in this pride. Because the moment you walk in pride, the moment you operate in vain glory, what is vain glory? The lust for the praise of men. There are many people who want to operate in vain glory, whereby we lust for the praise of men. So we cannot do some things because there are no men there to praise us. We cannot do some things in the house of God because we are looking for the applaud of men. The moment we start looking for the applaud of men, I did this one, they did not celebrate me, they didn't call me an apostle, they didn't call me a pastor, they didn't call me so and so, they didn't recognize me by the title that I carry, then it is a proof that pride has started working with us, working in our life. And you see, when pride comes in your life, there is no better way of falling. The possibility is, when you're on the first floor, you can jump down and many people cannot realize. But when you are on the 7th floor and you are to fall from the 7th floor, then you have to fall and everybody will realize that so and so has fallen. And that is what pride does. It will never ashame us while it is still growing. But there is a level it takes us where nobody realizes that you are somebody, and then you are brought down. And then when you are brought down, there is no good way. You are being brought down when pride has done it. And everybody realizes that, oh, Oscar was at this place, so and so was at this place. God can no longer use him. God can no longer do this one with him. Because of what? He did not cultivate humility, but he cultivated pride, and the devil sponsored it. And what he is facing now, he is an enemy of God, because God himself rejects the proud. I desire that may we obtain stamina. I desire that may we obtain stamina. That even as God lifts us, may we never get to a level whereby God becomes nothing to us. And we think we can start saying that by our own power. The moment we start saying that by our own power, by our own knowledge, by our own strength, then pride has started working in our life. So I desire that may we obtain stamina to walk in humility. And you see, it is very easier to say I'm humble when you don't have results. There are people at the lower level of their ministry. They say, I'm very humble. And they might tend to cheat God. But you see, God cannot be mocked. They might tend to be found where they need to be found. They might tend to do the right thing when they are looking for results. But the question still remains, will you still last when finally the result comes? Will you still go down and worship God when finally you are wearing a designer suit of 3,000? Or will you look around and say, people are looking at me? Because this has been the problem. When people are looking for job, when people are looking to be lifted by God, they look to be very humble. They cultivate humility to a level where you pray even for them. You say that, God, this one desires to be lifted. And in our own hearts, we think that they are ready to be lifted because they are asked to be humble. But when the result comes, that is when you can know the people who are humble and the people who are walking in pride. Don't just say, I'm humble. Can you stand in greatness and still recognize God as the author and the finisher of your faith? Can you stand before people and point to the maker and tell them that the result that you are seeing is not that it is by my own power, it is not that it is by my own strength, but it is the keeper of Israel who has given me all this that I own? That has been a problem. Because when men come and they are ready to celebrate us, we look at them, we say, and they tell us, hey, there is none like you in our generation. And pride starts working in you. You say, yeah, I did practice. I was in the place of prayer. But we forget that in Zechariah 4:6, he said, it is not by power, not by might, but by the Spirit. Unless the Spirit enables us to do these things, then we can do nothing. My desire this afternoon, may we get to a level whereby pride will never take the place of God. May we get to a level whereby in abundance we can still go down and worship God. May we get to the highest level of humility, whereby in the midst of celebration, in the midst where everybody is saying you are somebody, you can still go down and tell God and point the claps to the maker and tell them that without God, without him empowering me, without him directing me, without him giving me strength, then I cannot do what I'm doing. Because that way you attract the mercy of God. That way you attract the lifting of God. That way you qualify to enter to the next level. There are people who will take long before they rise. Because every time God trusts you with anything, he will always come back to collect the report card. But it is amazing that when God is collecting the report cards, there are many people, the only thing he can see in their report card is pride. And so he says, because there is no humility in you, keep on tarrying, keep on waiting, keep on pushing until I perceive that there is the requisite level of humility. Then you will qualify to enter the next level. There is nothing, there is no result that we have acquired. Could this be that as worshippers, as ministers, we are where we are? Because pride, we started well with God, but somewhere along the line, pride came and took its place. And now we are on our own. God already left us. Because one of the things I know about God, when he enters into a place, you will know. But when he leaves, he does not announce his departure. So we might be thinking we are still in the move of God, but God left us long time ago. Because when he comes, people may know that indeed you encountered God. Because you can never encounter God and remain the same. But when God leaves, he does not take what he came with. So people might be looking at you. You still have that car. You still have that voice. You still have that ministry. You can still stand before people and preach. But God left you long time ago because you did not walk in humility. That is the God that we serve. That when he comes in, everyone knows. But when he leaves, he does not announce his departure. Could it be that God left us long time ago? We are only still holding the title, I am a great worshipper, I am a great minister, I am an apostle, I am a pastor, I am a reverend. But God left what we are doing long time ago because he perceived that there is a large level of pride that we are walking in. And so he said, my son, until you work on this, until you solve this one, is when I will graduate you to the next level. I desire that we should pray the prayer of David this afternoon, that may God search our hearts, and if he finds anything that does not give him glory, if he finds pride, let him patch us to the version of him that he wants. The danger with many of us is that we are never true with God. You see, God can never lie because he's not a respecter of men. But it is amazing that even every time he said that search our hearts, that God comes and he finds that he comes and tells you, my son Oscar, as I was searching your heart, I found that you are a thief. The amazing thing is that we start arguing with God. God, whose money did I steal? But he is not a liar that he should lie. His report is final and can never be altered. What does humility do? When God tells you that you are walking in pride, what humility tells you is that to